Hey friends, Doug Goodrich with Goodrich Aviation. And here at Goodrich Aviation, we do a lot of different things. One of the things is we are the Northeast installer and dealer for BRS whole aircraft parachutes. And this 172 behind me is here from Virginia, and we're going to be installing one of those BRS systems in the back of this airplane. We thought we'd roll a little video and show you what the process is like, what the different components are, and what we have to do to install one of those chutes in this airplane. At the end of the video, we'll talk a little bit about how it operates and some of the neat things about the chute. I'll also talk about how you can get a parachute from Goodrich Aviation, whether you're here in the Northeast or even if you're not from this area. Goodrich Aviation is still a BRS dealer, and we have a couple of different things to make it worth your while to get your chute from us. So this airplane, we've got a lot of things we're going to do with it, not just the BRS parachute, but we've started its annual inspection, and we're also going to be doing an Airtex interior in this thing. So we've gotten started with the annual. The Airtex interior is due to deliver over the next couple of days, and the chute is a few days after that. So we're kind of getting rolling here, so we thought we'd take a little intro video and introduce you to the plane and what we're going to be doing, and then we'll just kind of go through the whole process with you. Look forward to it. Come along. All right, so our BRS parachute has arrived, and we've unboxed it as you saw in the video, and so the components are out here along with the chute itself, and the whole project is moving along. This thing is turned into quite a big project. We've really got the bull by the horns on this one. As I said before in the earlier video, we're doing a new interior in this airplane, all new plastic, seat covers, such, the rug, everything. The owner asked to get the glare shield replaced because that was just a ratty mess, and if you've ever done a glare shield on a 172, you can't touch those things without taking the windshield off. So we've taken the windshield off, and we're going to be putting a new windshield on. So we've got a lot of moving parts on this whole project. So it's a nice project, but we're looking forward to diving into the chute. So I thought we'd lay it out here and show you what all the components look like, and kind of take you along on the process as we take all of this and put it all in here. All right, so one of the questions I get asked pretty frequently is, how does the chute attach to the airplane after it's been deployed? And it's a great question. So we thought we'd start right back here. We actually take some of the structure here from the 172 right out, these channels here, and put in these heavy-duty channels. The originals were riveted in place, and we bolt these new heavy-duty aluminum channels here. And then this big old thing right here is called the attachment bracket, and it has these two aluminum beams here sandwiching this triangular shaped attachment bracket. And so all of that gets installed, and that's what's carrying the weight from the back of the airplane. And you can see this bolt right here. That's where the rear chute straps are going to attach. So this is the rear end of things. Let's go take a look at how it attaches for the front. All right, so now we're on the top side of the airplane, and we'll talk about how the forward straps attach. The forward straps are actually attached to the chute at the back of the airplane, and they come up through the rear window and run right up the center of the top of the skin. So it means that this top skin area is really important real estate if you're thinking about having a parachute installed. A lot of times avionics shops will install GPS antennas along that center area, and it kind of makes sense. But if you're thinking about having a chute and you don't have that avionics installed yet, you'll want to have your avionics shop install the GPS antenna towards the outside, like you see right here. This plane, before it arrived here at Goodrich Aviation, came right from an avionics shop where it had two G5s and a touchscreen GPS installed. And we made sure that the avionics shop understood that the GPS antenna needs to be on the outboard here. The center section here is really important real estate, and you'll see why in a little bit. But these straps, these Kevlar straps here, will come right up through that center section, make a turn and come right out here to this little hole that I've cut here. And this bracket is going to be fastened to the wing bolt on the inside here. We'll actually install a new wing bolt. We'll take the wing loose and take the bolt out and install this bracket underneath that wing bolt. Then the Kevlar straps will go in towards the center and right down the center section of the top skin. So it's really important if you're gonna have a chute that you keep that real estate available. If you look up and you have an antenna there already, it's not the end of the world. We just have to move it when we do the chute installation. All right, so we're moving right along with our BRS parachute installation in this 172, and we've got the new windshield in, we've completely refurbed the glare shield, the new interior is going in, but I wanted to take a minute and show you how the forward straps work, because it's kind of interesting, and we're about to cover them with these fiberglass fairings. But before we do that, I wanted to show you this. We take these straps and they have a steel bracket, and we hook that steel bracket right underneath the main wing bolt right here. And then the straps come up through these holes that we cut, and we put a little grommet around here. And then we lay these straps right out here. We put down double-sided tape across the T and right down the center of the airplane. And then we set the straps themselves, which are in kind of a little baggie, right down into the double-sided tape, and it holds them right in place. Yep, these straps go all the way down, and they go through a cut we make in the right side rear window. And so they come right up here, and they're taped right down, and then we will cover over them with these fiberglass fairings. It goes something like this. And then there's two other pieces that go down. We RTV these in place, and then once that dries, we'll trim them all off with blue tape and seal the edges with RTV so it looks really neat and professional. So when the chute is deployed, it actually goes through the rear window, and we'll pull these Kevlar straps right out from underneath these fiberglass fairings. So that's how the forward straps work. So we are wrapped up with our BRS parachute installation in this 172, and before we threw the seats in, I wanted to go over a little bit of how the system is operated should you need to use the system, and I thought I'd do it via a story. One of the very first installations we did was in one of our regular customers' 2007 182, And we taught him how to fly, and then he bought the airplane. And he wanted his wife, who flies with him a fair amount, to learn how to fly the airplane, or at least learn how to land the airplane. Should something happen to him, she'd be able to get down. Well, she really didn't want anything to do with that, so he needed a plan B. And he came up with the idea of having a BRS parachute installed in his airplane. So we went ahead and installed that. In fact, we nicknamed the chute Plan B. Plan A was to learn how to land the airplane for her. She didn't want to do that, so now he's got Plan B that he carries around in the back of the airplane should something ever happen to him. And when we were done with the installation, we simply brought her out to the airport and showed her how to operate it. And it's really as simple as pulling the mixture out to kill the engine, and taking the cover off and pulling the red handle. So we just showed her pull the red knob back and pull the red handle up. And it's really that simple to operate. So should you have people in the airplane, it's really easy to describe how to operate the system should they ever need to, if something were to happen to you or the pilot of the airplane. So it also really, that story speaks to the reason to get one of these systems installed in your airplane. That particular owner wanted peace of mind to know that should something happen to him, his wife would be safe and be able to get on the ground. And even this particular 172 is owned by a dad who's got 3 sons. One's already a pilot, 2 are going to become pilots in this airplane, and they simply wanted the peace of mind knowing that should something happen, they have the chute already installed in the airplane. So that's how the system operates. So we're getting close to finishing this BRS parachute installation in this 172, and I thought I'd crawl back here in the baggage area to show you that there's still some space back here. In fact, the last 172 that we did a BRS parachute installation and didn't have any fuel steps on the strut and the side of the fuselage, so they had to carry a ladder in order to check their fuel. And they had a small aluminum ladder, but it didn't just fit in the baggage area. They could actually slide it past the chute and into the hat rack area, so it worked pretty well. So there's still some space back here. But you can see, here's the chute itself. You can see the rocket over here. We've left the cover off the rocket so you can see that. And around me is all the new plastic for the interior that we're doing. This thing's getting a whole new Airtex interior and all new plastic from top to bottom, other than the headliner itself, which we covered with the Airtex fabric. But we're getting close to wrapping this up. We just really need to finish the handle installation and run the cable back to the rocket itself that attaches to the handle. And in our next shoot, we'll show you and talk a little bit more about how the system itself operates. Alright, so now I thought I'd finish things up by talking about how the system actually works when it's deployed. Should you have to pull that red handle, a lot's going to happen back here. The main thing is that rocket right there is going to blast right through this rear window, and it's going to take the parachute, the suspension lines, the straps, and everything, and just take them out in a big bundle and start to spread them out behind the airplane. It's going to rip the forward straps right out from underneath this fairing here, and it's going to start to deploy. Now, one of the interesting things about this is at the base of the chute itself, BRS has this thing they call a slider. I call it a donut for a better visual, but it's right at the base of the chute. As the chute starts to fill with air and deploy, the slider begins to slide down the suspension lines, and it allows the chute to deploy more slowly. Should the chute just go right out and fill with air, it'd probably yank it right from the airplane. It'd probably injure everybody inside the airplane, and so it most likely wouldn't work. So the slider slides down the suspension lines and allows the chute to open more slowly and keeps everybody safe. The other thing that's kind of interesting with this is when the plane is first under the canopy, it has a bit of a nose-up attitude. And they've got this neat device. This is actually one of them right here. It's called a line cutter. And it's actually kind of like a timed fuse with a little cutter at the end. And it is mounted on the rear strap. So after the system's deployed, the rear strap has an area that is doubled up. And this thing here, during the deployment process, starts to burn until the timer just sizzles, like is all it does. But it's a timer. And then it snaps and cuts the line and allows that doubled up area in the rear strap to extend. That takes the tail of the airplane and drops it down so that when the plane is going to hit the ground, it's going to hit on the main wheels, and they're going to take the brunt of the force of the plane coming down. Now, I get asked a lot of questions by people wondering about these systems, and one of the main ones is how much do they weigh? The 172 system weighs 79 pounds. The 182 system weighs 85 pounds. I get asked often, what altitude can you deploy it at? The BRS paperwork says 300 to 800 feet. It's going to depend on a lot of the situation that you're in, but it can actually deploy and work at a fairly low altitude. Another question I get asked, do you have to go to a BRS dealer, an installer, to get one of these things put in your Cessna? And the answer to your question is no, you don't, but you're probably going to save some money if you do. Most of your dealers and installers have done a bunch of these things and can do them a lot quicker than your local shop can. We flat rate the installation because we know how long it's going to take us to install it. And if you want to know what that price is, feel free to email me or give me a call and I'll let you know. I don't go over numbers here on a YouTube video because numbers are going to change eventually, and YouTube videos seem to go on forever and ever. So if you want to know how much a system costs, feel free to go to my website or email me, give me a call. I'll be happy to go over that. But if you need to have your local shop do the installation, you should get your system through Goodrich Aviation. We are a nationwide dealer, so whether you're in the Northeast or the Southeast or Northwest, you can get your system through Goodrich Aviation. And we have a couple of reasons why it would be in your best interest. First of all, we usually offer a little bit of a discount off of the list price. The other thing is we've developed a PDF called Chute Hacks, which is a bunch of tips and tricks that we use here to save time on the installation. And I'm estimating that it's probably going to save you 3 to 10 hours for your shop on the installation because of the different things that we'll tell you about in the Chute Hacks PDF. So if you get your system through Goodrich Aviation, we'll give you a discount and we'll send along Chute Hacks to save you money on the installation at your own shop. Well, we're done here, so thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video, and we will see you real soon. God bless. So before we end this video, I thought we'd show you how the system goes in a Cessna 182. It's really popular in these airplanes, and it actually attaches to the plane a little differently, and how it orients in the baggage compartment is a little different. So it's worth checking out. If you're a 182 owner, here's how the BRS system goes in your airplane.